Folks, as you know, I live in the Socialist Republic of Connecticut. We had our primary yesterday. Look, it's not exactly a red state. In fact, it's the only state in the union, I think, with all the congressmen, both the senators, a supermajority in the state House and Senate, and the governor all blue. And that's exactly my point. Part of the reason for Connecticut being so blue electorally is that a lot of Republicans aren't actually Republicans up there. I've been screaming this from the hills. With Trump already numerically clinching the nomination, 6,211 people as of now still voted for Nikki Haley last night, even though she's not even in the race anymore. I mean, she's on the ballot, but you're going to tell me that all those people didn't already know that she dropped out? Fat chance. Trump got 34,658 in a race that he's already won. It's an overwhelming majority, obviously, but Connecticut is just a microcosm of what can happen in November if Republicans don't actually act like Republicans.
There are some conservatives who are trying to make this claim that somehow Biden is a bigger risk than Trump. My view is I disagree with a lot of Joe Biden's policies.
Yeah.
We can survive bad policies.
He's not crazy.
We cannot survive torching the Constitution.
That's right.
Okay, Liz, you may not like Trump, but I don't really care. Get out of the party then. He's our guy. You have a choice to make. Do you want more of what we got, which is terrible? You know what damn well Biden's going to double down on that in a second term. He's got nothing to lose in a second term. He's just going to do whatever he wants. He's already ruined our economy. He's ruined our currency. He's ruined our security, our global standing, our values. He's attacked those left and right. And for anybody who may have voted for Nikki Haley or DeSantis, who's already out of the race, okay, fine. You've made your point. But this is what's on the ballot in November. And let me remind you, staying home makes you complicit in the status quo. Don't complain for the next 4 years if you don't vote at all. Do you want more inflation or less inflation? Because your dollar is worth 25 cents less than when Joe Biden took the White House. Are you willing to pay more for absolutely everything? Devalue every asset you have, all because you're mad about a mean tweet from Trump? Or because he said a mean thing about people coming into this country and murdering citizens? He says mean stuff about people carrying fentanyl too. Good. These illegals are loading up with guns and drugs in gun-free zones, mind you. You just had the White House declare Trans Visibility Day on the holiest day for Christianity. Biden goes out there claiming to be a devout Catholic, but wants you to be able to carve your baby out at 9 months. Sorry, not sorry, but can you point to one single instance where he's been against any sort of 9-month late-term abortions, aborting a viable baby? Abortion isn't even in my top 10 issues, and I still care about it that much. You want a guy who goes to glitzy fundraisers or a guy who comforts the wife of a slain officer who got killed by a criminal who was let out of jail nearly 24 times? I'm just asking because that's literally what's on the ballot in November. And whether or not you like Trump's fake tan, it doesn't really matter to me. I worked in the Trump administration, and this guy truly cares about the country. What matters to me is that this country that I put my life on the line for is going to hell in a handbasket because the guy who can't take the big boy stairs on Air Force One is bowing down to a bunch of purple-haired 20-year-old wokies screaming about their college debt, where they apparently learned how great socialism is and how to hate this country. That's given them every opportunity. One of my producers today had to sit next to a guy smoking crack on public transportation in New York. Nobody did anything. Because the cops are too worried about getting sued or fired, they have to put a roof over their head too. They're worried about getting canned by some woke left-funded DA. They're more worried about that than protecting citizens. Their headshed has made it abundantly clear that criminals' rights are more important than taxpayers' rights. We have China buzzing our planes midair, Iran building a nuke, openly funding and supporting terrorist cells, attacking our allies. Nations are getting together to remove the dollar in the global currency. How many places did Russia invade when Trump was president? Oh, I don't know. Give or take 0 acres, approximately. How many terrorists got $80 billion worth of weapons because we were too worried about getting out of a war on a political timeline? Another big fat 0. That didn't happen under Trump. In fact, when people threatened us under Trump, when people threatened our pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness, Trump used the most powerful non-nuclear explosive to take the top half off of a mountain. When Iranian-backed generals thought it'd be cute to get tough, we prematurely arranged a meeting with Allah in someone else's airport before they waltzed into our southern border carrying God knows what. Trump treated these people as terrorists, like they are. Whereas just today, we learned that Joe Biden wants to take actual terrorists, the Houthis, off the terrorist watch list. These people are pirates, by the way, who have conducted dozens of attacks against our men and women in the Red Sea. Never before in the history of this country have we ever prioritized our own demise such as we are now. I feel like every single day we just scour the internet, or some intern in the White House scours the internet for like the worst ideas in the history of the world and then slides them into Joe Biden's daily briefing for things he should do. Oh, the Constitution says we can't do that? No problem. We'll just appoint Supreme Court justices that can't define what a woman is and are more concerned about how the Constitution constrains the government over its people.
My biggest concern is that your view has the First Amendment hamstringing the government in significant ways in the most important time periods.
There's a place for people like that. It's not here in America. That's what we're fighting against. And honestly, like, this is not even left versus right. It's not even light red versus bright red. You want to take the moral high ground and vote for Nikki Haley over Donald Trump because you say you're speaking truth to power, or whatever ridiculous thing you come up with to justify doing something that is that detrimental. Fine. You're taking a stand against somebody that I'll admit isn't perfect, but he's perfect for now. He's perfect for this fight. I mean, Jesus, like, the guy takes arrows every day. He's perfect because he's the only guy, unlike Nikki Haley, who isn't owned by the same globalists and neocons that own this current administration too. Because he's more concerned about you and me than he is about the current system and the structure of it. I mean, you want to have BlackRock owning all the homes in America because interest rates are so high because you can't afford a home? I mean, commuting to work on an electric bus that lights on fire because Kamala Harris thought it was a good idea, with your kids being looked after by some socialist bureaucrat appointed by a union owned by the left, to a job that takes 50% of your hard-earned money to give to countries that hate us so they can spend $13 million on a gender studies program in Pakistan. Do you want that? Because if you're a Republican, and you're voting for someone who's no longer in the race, like Nikki Haley, sounds like an awful lot like you do. Or do you want to own a home with a 2.5% interest rate? Go into your garage, get into your V8 American-made car with parts made in America by Americans, with a tank of gas that only costs you $1.99 a gallon, so you can put your foot all the way on the floor, hear that kitty purr on the way to drop your kids off to daycare in your own car, where they say the Pledge of Allegiance with their hands over their heart, proud to be here, proud to be the gender they were born as, with a stomach full of food that didn't cost you half your paycheck. So you can then go to your job stress-free, not have to worry about 420 combined state-mandated DEI training hours, just so you can, do your job. So we can actually compete against countries that hate us, like China and Russia and all those other ones, instead of trying to be more like Canada. I mean, that's my question to all your people who cast your ballot, at least in my state, for Nikki Neocon Haley. Because if you don't want that, get out of the Republican Party and go ahead and join the party that wants you to own nothing and be jumped by criminals in the street, eat bugs, and have to sit next to somebody smoking crack on a train, where the only thing your tax dollars get you is some stupid free coexist sticker for the back of your electric car that you can't charge because they just banned coal. This should be a no-brainer. Literally nothing is better under Joe Biden. So my fellow Connecticut people, if you voted for anybody other than Donald Trump on that ballot, or you voted undecided or uncommitted or anything else last night and claimed to be a Republican, reconsider your life. Because if Joe Biden wins a second term, this country is going to be reconsidered.